Africa exists. Europe. Happy 18th birthday. I have a surprise for you. You've been drafted and are going to Vietnam. World, do you seriously need so many damn colonies? Britain, you wouldn't get it. Persia according to Greeks. Persia. Latin American. Man, I sure love free and democratic elections. United States. Department of State, Central Intelligence Agency, Department of Defense. Allow us to introduce ourselves. All the roads in the world, all the railroads in the world, all the seaports in the world. Japan's allies in May 1945. Franklin D. Roosevelt. Polio. European leaders dividing up the Ottoman Empire. I'm not very good at it, but it doesn't matter. Germany asking Mexico to invade America. England intercepting the message. Ottoman soldiers after a battle with Vlad the Impaler. Oh, look at that, I've been impaled. Things adults shouldn't believe in anymore. Testing nukes in the desert for an isolated testing environment. Testing a nuke which shatters the windows of anything 900 kilometers away. Nuking some island in the Pacific, and getting mad at New Zealand when they try to stop you. Testing nukes suspiciously close to where the natives live. People who play Assassin's Creed, history teachers. How I greet my friends in public, when I'm alone. When I'm with my mum. Salvador Allende, I hope to use all 8 of my years in office to establish socialism in Chile. Augusto Pinochet. 3. Take it or leave it. I prefer the real Mustang. I said the real Mustang. Perfection. American. So how many countries did the UK used to control? UK. Inhales. Pimples? 0. Blackheads? 0. Mitsubishi A6M? 0. Random island in the Pacific exists. Japan. Who just conquered China 5 seconds ago. Yeah, I've got time. Romulus. What should we name this great city? Remus. Reme Romulus. Sharpening spear. I have a better idea. How to plan a trip to Jerusalem. Google. Bing. Natives. We have this thing called tobacco. Europeans. Give me the plant. The Tower of Pisa, after sinking into the soil and beginning to tilt in 1178. I'm gonna stay up for a while. You're going on a vacation from your home in Africa. It's the 1700s. You're going to the New World. Germany starts Operation Barbarossa. Also Germany 2 years later. Why do I hear Soviet march? Finnish soldiers when Soviets forced them to remove Germans from Finland, according to peace terms in 1944. Germans every few generations. Why is it whenever I'm having fun, it's wrong? Democrats and Whigs. The balance between slave states and non-slave states is very precarious right now. We cannot do anything to upset this delegate. John Tyler. Mum, can you give me entrenching tools? To dig trenches? Yes. Actually uses it as a melee weapon like a boss. Trench raid time. When the weird 2-legged monkeys you used to snack on start playing around with sharp rocks. Soviet ice hockey team dies in a plane crash. Vasily Stalin. What plane crash? There was never a plane crash. Britain in British history books. Britain in American history books. Britain in Indian history books. Britain in Hong Kong history books. Fighting on this side will result in us losing the war. Hey, what are you looking? Weather. Just checking the weather. 10-year-old me. I wish I lived in ancient Rome. Being a gladiator would have been so cool. Historians. Doubt. World. Do you seriously need so many damn spices? Portugal. You wouldn't get it. Okay class. Epidemiology is now a school subject, so it's time to get historical. Let's start with an example. Who wants to go first? Jose, get up here. What was the parasite that caused the Irish potato famine? The English. A+. Made in China in the 1700s. Made in China today. When you give Normandy to the Vikings so they would stop raiding you, but they then take over England, and England becomes your arch enemy for 800 years. This has been the worst trade deal in the history of trade deals, maybe ever. Friend, I dare you to overthrow the current French government. The French in the 18th century. That's not a dare, that's Tuesday. Girls, why don't guys ever understand our hints? They're hints. Dunkirk. British soldier, there aren't enough boats for our evacuation. French soldier, you guys are getting evacuated? Germans in 1942. Kashmir belongs to India. Kashmir belongs to Pakistan. Kashmir belongs to Led Zeppelin. Panama, after 1914. How to cook turkey in USA. How to cook turkey in Romania. British Empire, French Empire, Italy fighting with Ethiopia. Russians, we need a music to celebrate our victory against Napoleon. Tchaikovsky. So anyway, I started blasting cannons. What's the best fiat? Google. Bing. Humans when society advanced into the Iron Age. Upgrades people. Upgrades. Drunk dude. Throws rock. British soldier. So anyway, I started blasting. When I'm in a public place, and I hear people say how short Napoleon was. Eastern Bloc, we want fair elections. USSR, shut. 18th century, begins. European borders, now it's time to get funky. Me about to get my history degree. Making memes is not what historians do for a living. Chinese exchange student, hey, what happened on the 15th of April 1989? Everyone else, you wouldn't get it. French peasants, we're starving. We've just been hit with a famine, and you're not doing anything to help. French monarchy, orchestra, play something sad. Sliced bread was invented in 1928, sandwiches before 1928. It is time to go, was I a good empire? You were okay. How many human rights violations have you committed? China, 0, take it or leave it. Pakistan's claim to Kashmir, Indian claims to Kashmir, China just wanting some land. How to drink wine like a gentleman. Google. Bing. Hitler survives 42 plots for his assassination. Also Hitler. How do I point this at myself? Visible light was discovered in 1666. People in 1665. When you help the British to kick the French out of America. When you realize you need the French to kick the British out of America. Before we get started, does anybody want to get out? Napoleon in Russia. Napoleon in Europe. Napoleon in Egypt. Kings in movies. Kings in real life. Guy from the 1960s. Wow, I just turned 18. US military. I'm sorry sir, it's time for you to leave. Me. Punch my friend as a joke in Minecraft. His 60 dogs. African kings. They're people to the Europeans. Lenin. When I die, don't put Stalin in charge. Lenin dies. Stalin. Now this looks like a job for me. America in the 80s. Britain in the 80s. Between the House of Bourbon and the Habsburg dynasty, the rising power of Sweden under. Hey, yeah, just say, Catholics versus Protestants. The teacher who says it is okay if you suck at math at a young age, because Einstein also struggled at math initially. Dude, you are so historically retarded. Central American countries holding free elections. USA. So how much countries you can fight in the same time? Israel, yes. The world if Germany simply went around Belgium. What happens in 1 minute? 70,000 hours of Netflix watched. 3 million videos watched on Snapchat. Google is asked 2.4 million questions. Denmark surrenders.